Today's guest, we have Bee. She is the CEO and founder of the Honey Pot Company. And I'm so excited to have you today because I've been following y'all for a long time. And I remember being so excited. So I was like, wait a minute. This is the first plant-based feminine care system that's on the market. Um,
Right.
and I remember when you guys were also going to launch your pads and everything, which you have now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just so excited about that, especially at a time when I was like, okay, I was throwing away all my products because I had been diagnosed with cancer.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I was just happy that there was a product out there that I could use and not think twice about.
Right.
So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for being so supportive, and thank you for sharing that personal little tidbit about yourself.
Yes, no problem. So what made you name your company the Honey Pot Company? Which I love.
Well, at the time, I was really working hard to figure out what the name was going to be because
Mhm.
that's like the most important part about your business, right? And
Yeah.
and I was honestly just driving down the street one day in Atlanta, over by Buddy's gas station. Yeah, so ridiculous. But which you wouldn't know that unless you lived in Atlanta, but whatever. So I was driving down the street and I saw a, a band, like a band poster, and it said Honey Pot Band. And I was like, wow, I'm gonna call Honey Pot Honey Pot, So it was, yeah, it was very random. But just one of those things where it just made sense because it was a pet name for a vagina.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't pick up on it till last night. I was like, wait, duh, the Honey Pot. The
Yeah,
Honey
exactly. Exactly.
Pot. So how did the Honey Pot come about? I know you have an amazing story about how it came about, in addition to you having this dream. Can you tell us about
Yeah, yeah. So, 2012, I was having an issue with a reoccurring bout of bacterial vaginosis.
that? Hmm.
And I everything that I did, nothing worked. And so, literally every month, I would get BV. And I didn't know what to do, and I was doing a lot of things individually. Like I was doing a lot of things with herbs, and then I was also taking medicine, and I was just doing all these things and going back and forth. And then around the same time, I had just initiated into my religion. And, doing that, you deal with a lot of things, a lot of dreams, a lot of spirits and ancestors and things like that. And, I went to sleep one night and I had a dream. And, I was just sitting down at a table with one of my ancestors. I think it was my grandmother, but she died when my mother was young, so I never really met her, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But and we were just sitting down at the table and she had this list of ingredients and she was just like, here's a list of ingredients, kind of went through the list, basically was like, don't worry, I'm gonna make sure you remember this when you wake up. And she was like, this is gonna get
Wow.
a problem. And so I woke up, I remembered it, I wrote it down because it was so vivid because I dreamt it literally right before I woke up. And I wrote it down and I tried it and it worked. And so here we are.
Wow. And he was like, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share this with people because this helps me and that inspires.
Yeah, yeah, because if it could help me, it could likely help them, right?
Yeah.
And so it just seemed like it made sense to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm always a believer in being the change in the world that you want to live in and be in and love in and all the things, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I had been wanting to do something in the product business world. I just didn't know what it was, and then it was like it was just gifted to me.
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your dream, it really touched me because, as you said, when you're really um, going through something, or you're really tapping into that part of yourself, like your spirituality, I feel like even for me, um, like God has told me a bunch of things, and now I'm paying more attention to my dreams. So it's just, and that was like from the time I was diagnosed with cancer up until now, and knowing like about the importance of dreams. So I just thought that was like really profound, and that you got like all the information you needed to.
I literally did. I got
this.
all the information that I needed from that dream. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
So can you tell us more about your products? So what makes the Honey Pot Company different from other feminine care products?
What makes us different from other feminine care products is we really put a focus on clean ingredients, right? There's tons of products out there that put a focus on clean ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that we're thinking about feminine hygiene and feminine health and all those things is we're looking at it globally and creating a product line that doesn't just focus in one part of feminine care, but it kind of thinks about a woman's routine that she does for her feminine care, right? Whether she's on her period or whether she's having sex or whether she's taking her showers twice a day or once a day. How does she take care of it after she gets out of the shower, right? Mm-hmm. And so the way that we're thinking about it is through a woman's journey. Mm-hmm. We're not necessarily looking at these product lines and looking at them as just streams of revenue. It's more so, how does she journey through our product line, and how do we create things that keep her coming back to a place that she trusts, first and foremost, but that actually works for her, that gives her products that are actually going to be, work, right? I mean, it wouldn't make sense. It doesn't matter if what you use doesn't work. And we're not going to work for everybody. Like, that it's just impossible to think that way.
Yeah.
But for the mass majority of people that have tried our products, our products work. And so when we think about how we create, that's how we create. We create globally for a woman's journey with how she takes care of herself.
Yeah. And how important are the ingredients that you use in your products?
Well, the ingredients are everything. That's what makes up a product, right? It's like, if you're going to bake a cake, you know what I mean? Like you need all the right ingredients to it, right? Like it has to have egg. And if it doesn't have egg, then, if you're not using egg, then you have to use applesauce. You have to use an egg replacer or something.
Yes.
Like that. But whatever it is, it needs to have the consistency and do the thing that the egg would do, right?
Yep.
And so when you're thinking about how you put a product together, it's in the same way that you formulate, a recipe. You're not going to put cinnamon in spaghetti.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
So when you're talking about, we got a product, I can say something about it because it's launching today. We have a line of panty sprays, right?
Wow.
We didn't want to, it's literally just launched. And what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to put toxic chemicals in an aerosol can, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to put talc in anything. I wanted to be able to create something that women can use after they get out of the shower, just a quick little spray down, on the panties, on the skin, whatever. But we basically came out with a mineral panty spray, or like a mineral kind of like deodorant spray for your girl, right? But I didn't want it to have any artificial chemicals. I wanted it to have water in it. I wanted it to have the mineral salts because that can actually help with regulating the pH that kind of gives you a musty odor, right? And so, so again, the ingredients are pivotal. With our washes, we had to have vinegar. We had to have, garlic in there for yeast, apple cider vinegar in there to balance out the pH, coconut oil, which is antimicrobial and really cleansing. It was important to have those types of ingredients so that the wash can be able to have all the faces and do all the things that it does, right? So the ingredients are the most important part because that's how your products work.
Yeah. And I love that too, because I was watching your Indiegogo campaign video. Yeah. And I love that video. And you're welcome. It got to me,
Yeah.
especially the part about how our feminine care has been in the past, especially like back in the day. And even now, it wasn't really until recently, honestly, where the
Yeah.
discussion has come about, oh my God, there's chlorine pads or this, that, and the
Yeah.
third is in this.
Yeah.
And we're not thinking about how it's being absorbed into our blood, into our vaginal wall, into our tissue. And
I mean, your vagina is one of the most absorbent things on your body. It's even more absorbent than your mouth, right?
wow.
So, so whatever you put down there is going to absorb it quickly and
Mhm.
without going into liver and kidneys and all those things. It's going straight into your bloodstream. So
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy
It is
and
crazy.
disgusting.
It is. And I feel like, I mean, this is my statement. In a way, like many other things regarding our healthcare and everything, I feel like it has failed us in a lot of ways. Like, I don't know if they just didn't know that they were doing this, or they knew and they were doing this so that they could
Well,
profit off of us, like.
let's put it this way. When you think of really huge corporations,
Mm-hmm.
one thing that they have to invest heavily in is um, chemists and laboratories and testing
Mm-hmm.
and you know and so when they're making things on a mass scale the way that they are, they're not necessarily thinking, but they're not thinking towards the consumer to say, let's make them the cleanest product possible at the best price.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking to the consumer to say, let's just make a product at the best price that we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I won't talk down my competitors because I don't know who's going to buy me one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a Kimberly Clark or a Unilever or, one of them may be knocking, or Procter and Gamble may be knocking at my door. And so I won't say anything bad about them. But what I will say is when they're making products, they're not making them for the consumer thinking that they want to give them the cleanest thing possible, right? What they invest heavily in is understanding they know that talc is poisonous, right? They know that chlorine is poisonous. They know that the things that they're putting in there, they know what they are. So to think that they don't know, would almost be silly to do. But they are, and it's not a thing that's understandable, but they are doing these things because they're thinking about a bottom line. And that is the most cost-effective way to do it,
Yeah.
right? It's quick, it's done, it's going to kill everything. We're making this for everybody all over the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thought process behind it. But that's also why the Kimberly Clarks and the Unilevers and the Procter and Gambles are buying up companies like mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they do still need to create and have products under their assortment that are clean, that are effective, that don't have all the bullshit in them.
One of the products that you have that I really, really am excited to try are your herbal pads.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? And
Right
because
now.
I just think that's just dope,
Thank you. Thank you. So when Linda and I, she's our other co-founder, me, Simon, Linda. When Linda and I, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we were like, okay, we have a wash on our site, right? But we have to create a reason why. Linda's sitting right in front of me. You guys
Hi,
Linda. But Linda and I said to each other, okay, we need to start wholesaling with some other companies, right? Because we're in this business, sure, to make the world a better place, to provide women shit that works, but we're in business, so you have to make money, right?
Yeah.
And our washes, which is this size wash, this takes about, this will take me 2.5 weeks to go through because I take 2 showers a day, and I'm going crazy. But the average person it takes 3 to 4 weeks or 3 to 6 weeks to get rid of,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that doesn't really give us a lot of return business. So we said to ourselves, let's go out and find some companies that we want to work with, that we can put more of an assortment on our site, so we have people that have a reason to come back more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a company called La Mode, and they did herbal menstrual pads. She's the only one in the U.S. outside of Honey Pot that does this type of pad.
Wow.
And so she wholesaled with us for about almost 2 years. And then she's like my Asian godmother is what I call her. But I said to her, we're going to go into Target, and I really would like to have my own line of pads. And any other human would have been egotistical and would have said, no,
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to do for my business, and I can't connect you to my people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what she did. She took me to Taiwan and into China, and we went and met with the manufacturers, and we did all the things, and basically we launched our own line of herbal menstrual pads. And so our pads are fantastic. They are chlorine and pesticide free cotton.
Wow.
Yeah, they are. They're made with essential oils of lavender, aloe, latuya, rose, and mint.
Oh.
So they're gorgeous. So when you put them on, it has kind of a minty feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
To be afraid of. That it's really just kind of the essential oil or the herb activating with your skin or acclimating with the heat on your skin, which kind of opens the pores, and because it's a moist area, right?
Yeah.
If you're dealing with cotton, anytime you touch it, even if the tiniest bit of liquid gets on it, whether it's steam or whatever, it activates almost. The cotton does. That's why women using pads that aren't necessarily good for them can cause problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens with ours is you feel kind of that minty sensation in the beginning, and that's kind of the first experience that you get, and then it kind of goes away, but what it does is it helps with odor, helps with pain, helps with blood circulation, helps with moisturizing the skin, helps with bacteria. So each one of the herbs have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Again, as I said, with how we develop our products, how we think about how we stack up the formula, each herb has a purpose, and it serves that purpose. So people that use our menstrual pads for years, I used to have a period for 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
I have a period now for like 2.5, 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And our periods are not supposed to be very long at all. We're not supposed to be bleeding for 7 and 10 and 14 days.
Yeah,
That's
mine was 7 days too, but it's not anymore.
not anymore, because it's not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Healthier you become, and which
Mm-hmm.
as much as you went through, I know you got real healthy real quick.
Yeah.
The healthier you become, the better you eat, the better you take care of yourself, the more water you drink, and the more, the right products and all those things come into play. Your body will acclimate, and it won't need to bleed that long.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need as long to get the stuff out of you that has to come out.
Yeah. And I love that you also incorporate herbs into your products, because now, again, like so many things, like we're learning, a lot of people knew this before, but how important herbs are for healing, and for
Absolutely.
use. And I think that's amazing.
Absolutely. We have herbs in practically every single thing that we do. The only thing that does not have herbs is our tampon, because, I would have tried, but and someday we may do some, something not necessarily herbal, but there may be some other things that we're looking into with tampons. But for right now, that's the only product that doesn't have herbs in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know you're also big on wellness, which is amazing. And I also saw that you guys give back to women, especially homeless women or women who can't afford feminine care for themselves. Can you talk about that? Because I think that's so dope.
So we've already kind of begun our relationship with Happy Period.
Mm-hmm.
We send products. monthly, sometimes quarterly, depending on how she needs them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're about to implement a product, like a merchandise page on our website, and some different. Not every piece of merchandise will benefit Happy Period, but some of the pieces of merchandise will. And so so we really look to we're really, everything's so crazy because we're also getting into more retailers and everything's crazy right now. But what we're planning to do by the summer is really to implement some programs with her, so that she can continue to grow and scale and do the things that she needs to do. And we're just going to be one of her partners that she works with. But, I met Chelsea maybe 2 years ago. And I really just thought what she was doing was super dope, and she hit me up like all the time, and I'd be like, girl, I don't have it, because I didn't have it, right? You can't get what you don't have.
Yeah.
But finally it was like, let me call her back. And I'm so happy that we did, and I'm so happy that we've been able to support her the way that we've been able to, because we're able to get we're able to purchase a product that doesn't necessarily cost us as much as our big packs do. So it's a way for us to be able to give back, but also in giving back, like give back with dope shit, not just like poisonous.
Right.
What nobody didn't want. You know what I mean?
That you're actually using on yourselves, and
exactly
giving to other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, these women deserve
Yep.
dignity. I mean, bleeding it's not like you can just choose not to bleed.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
right.
you can't just make a conscious decision. Oh, I'm not gonna have a period this month. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, whether you're homeless, whether you're living in a mansion, right? We all deal with the same thing, and that just shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be a thing. There should be a place where people can come and get what they need. Because like I said, they can't choose not to do that,
Yeah. And I often wonder too, like some of these other brands, or just in general, all the different toxins that are in, whether it's feminine care or lotions or what have you. I mean, I know women who, it seems like nowadays too, like people are being diagnosed with cancer super young, like I was 34. I have some other friends that I know, they're in their 20s, late 20s. And I was also told that the number one killer for kids now is cancer. And so I'm really, really excited and happy that you guys are making these products, because I often wonder, like, how much of these things are actually making people have cancer, especially like people I know who have had like ovarian cancer or cervical cancer and things like that. Like, it's really scary and it bothers me. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you today and just get the word out, because I think it's amazing. Like,
thank you.
So dope what you guys are doing. And again, like, it's just one of those things where I feel like I don't have to worry about it, like, product's toxic. I was like, nah, I'm buying that. And not have to think twice about it, which is
right. I mean, I think a lot of things in today's world bring about cancer, right? Obviously what we eat, what we put in, just walking outside and breathing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, our addiction to our phones.
Yeah.
Our addiction to TV. Our addiction to processed foods. Our addiction to sweets. I mean, there's almost anything.
Yep.
Right. So, it's terrible, but it's just one of those things that is.
Yeah.
Right? And so, so I do, it is very important to me that Honey Pot, work really hard and diligent to be sure, that we're not furthering that agenda, right? That we're furthering the agenda that would help people if they have that, or if they want to move away from that, or how do they do that, or, so yeah, it's everything to us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you have this beautiful website that makes me feel
You do.
empowered as a woman.
Girl, that thing better be beautiful. Shout out to Smack, man. that was a commitment right there.
And you keep elevating. How important is that to you? Because you guys are in addition to being able to buy your products on your website, they're in Target. You can purchase them at Target. So how much does that mean to you to keep elevating? And you also have this moisturizing lubricant that I was like, okay.
You love it? Did you try
You are elevating, girl.
Yes. Well, there is no success in not elevating. Basically, it's really important to me that when we're done with Honey Pot, all the work, blood, sweat, tears that we put into it, it's really important to me that we can walk away with this with some form of tangible wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can't get to $1 billion paydays with a brand unless you're elevating, unless you're constantly innovating, unless you're going, trying to get into as many doors as possible, trying to scale on retail as much as possible. You can't do that if you're not elevating.
What would be like your top 5 tips on caring for our honey pot or our bodies or whatever you want to give to us, whatever nuggets you want to share?
Drink water.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, only drink water.
Yeah.
Have a cup of coffee. You go to the movies, have a soda, right? But in your day-to-day, just drink water.
Yeah.
Take, in my opinion, take 2 showers a day.
Mm-hmm.
Take a shower at the beginning of your day. Take a shower at the end of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least be taking 1 shower a day. When you wash, do not use a washcloth. Use your hands for the front and for the back.
Okay.
And also make sure to get the area in between your vagina and your butt. When you have sex, be sure to urinate before and urinate after, right? And also clean yourself straight away. And the last one, if you go number 2 throughout the day, keep baby wipes or honey pot wipes or somebody's wipes. No, people
makes a difference.
People don't tell you, and it's not just the smelling thing. It's bacteria. It lives in the same area. And if you're, predisposed to getting infections or things like that, you really have to keep yourself clean. You don't want to be walking around all day not having cleaned yourself, right? And so it's, Honey Pot has these wipes, and then we also have like a box that has 15 like pre-wrapped wipes in it. And if it's not Honey Pot wipes, because look, those are expensive to be wiping your booty with them. I get it. Go to the store and get some baby wipes, but it is very important to keep yourself clean. So those would be my top 5. Oh, and take a good probiotic.
Okay. Yes.
Not a cheap one. Spend some money.
I do have one question though, as you were telling me some of your tips, just real quick. When you said to pee before and after, like when I thought about it, I was like, okay, I normally do that, but why? Like, I mean, I just know to do it, but I don't know why I'm doing it.
Okay, so cleaning before or peeing, basically urinating before, is very similar to your after, right?
Yeah.
You just want to just make sure that you're just clearing out that space.
Yes.
You're actually cleansing because it's clean.
Yes. Yes.
And so it's kind of like cleaning out your inside part before you get busy.
Yeah. Feel lighter too.
You do feel lighter. Although it is a good orgasm when you have to pee.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to say it. But it's a out. So
50 Shades is when I heard that. I was like, okay. I was like, oh, should I try that?
You have no idea. And then afterwards comes on two different levels, right? If you've had sex with a condom,
mm-hmm.
you want to urinate so that you can get the residue from that condom away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you had sex without a condom and your partner has, basically released inside of you, or even if you were with a girl and, you guys were doing whatever you were doing, things have still interchanged between
mm-hmm.
you. And so you need to urinate that out.
Mm-hmm.
Think of peeing almost not like a douche, because it's not douching,
mm-hmm.
but in the same vibe of that, right?
Yeah,
like just cleaning yourself a little bit, right? Because that's really what the purpose of it is.
Yeah.
It's warm, it's all the things. So it's really, really, really important. Really important. And sometimes it's hard to pee. You just have to sit on the toilet and just pee, You just gotta put your hand on the faucet and just focus and drink some. Because sometimes it's hard to pee right after.
Yeah.
But you want to try to do that, especially if you have UTIs or anything like that.
Yeah. That's dope. Thank you. Thank you for all this wonderful information. Schooling us today.